Hello, everybody. Today we are going to talk about one of my favorite subjects and one of the reasons that I decided to go to Ayurveda school and become an Ayurveda health coach. And that was because I love Ayurveda cleansing. And so I want to help other people enjoy an Ayurveda cleanse as well. And so in Ayurveda, we cleanse in the spring and the fall. And so today I'm going to talk about what a spring Ayurvedic cleanse looks like and how it works and all the benefits. So let's get started. So first of all, what is Ayurveda? And now this definition is extremely simplified for the sake of this video. Ayurveda has been around for over 5,000 years, and it's the science of life or the science of nature. And it's very complex and detailed. But for the sake of right now, it's an ancient sister science to yoga that emphasizes balance through the three pillars of food, sleep, and life force energy. So, when our digestion is strong, we experience better sleep and greater vitality. And so, in Ayurveda, agni is considered like the most important thing. So, what is agni? In Ayurveda, agni is our digestive fire. And when our digestive fire is strong, then we're able to assimilate life, our experiences, and our emotions. And I don't know if you've ever heard this, but we you can tell how well you're experiencing and digesting life by how well you are digesting your food. So they're a direct correlation. And when our digestive fire is weak or disturbed, then this is how disease forms. And in Ayurveda, we think all disease forms through like vata, but it all starts with the digestive system. And so that is why we focus on cleansing. So, what is an Ayurvedic cleanse? So, a lot of the times when we hear the word cleanse, we are just thinking about detoxing. And there's kind of this like extreme culture of detox as well that, we act like we're just like so dirty and we got to detox everything out of us. And I guess that's fine. And there are cases for like extreme detoxing and things like that. But an Ayurveda cleanse is a very gentle detoxing because at the same time that we're detoxing in a way that's very gentle, we're also nourishing the body. And so we're not depleting ourselves in any way. And in fact, you might actually be getting the most nutrients during this time than you've ever gotten. And so therefore, you might feel the opposite, like you are actually um, giving yourself more nourishment than you've ever had. And so I think it's very important to focus on the fact that this is not just about cleansing, even though that's the word that we're using. We are talking about resetting our digestive tract and so we can nourish our body better. And so we do this by eating kitchari. So what the heck is kitchari? Some of you probably already know, and this is probably not the best picture of kitchari, although it is a lentil, and mung beans are basically a lentil. So I don't know if that's lentil or mung bean, but could be one or the other. But basically, it's just mung bean and rice, and we use the yellow mung bean because that's easier to absorb. And um, they're similar to lentils. And then we add digestive spices, ghee, and vegetable to it. So based on like what vegetables you add to it and what digestive spices you add to it, kind of change the flavor a little bit. So you can adjust it day to day. And the idea is that we want to eat a mono diet for 7 days because this allows the digestive system to slow down and not have to work so hard to digest the food. And so mung bean and rice is a complete protein and it's all the nutrients that you'll need in order to sustain yourself. And then by adding the vegetables, you're adding different flavors and different vitamins and nutrients. But we're going to cook the vegetables really well. So it makes them really easy to digest. And so this would be what you would eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 7 days. However, There's lots of different ways to switch this up. And if you did a Kitchari cleanse with me, I would suggest doing oatmeal for breakfast and also juicing for breakfast. You could do both, just depending on what your goals and needs are. And I could help work with you on the best fit for you. But then you would have the Kitchari for lunch and the Kitchari for dinner. And if you are like me and you need like a snack, you would have the Kitchari as your midday snack. And then on top of that, I have like different chutneys and things you can add to the Kitchari to make them more interesting, as well as even like mung bean soups and rice porridge and things like that to switch things up along the way. But generally speaking, you're eating 7 days of Kitchari. And how does it work? So I kind of got into this a little bit. So the goal is to give the digestive system a rest so it can allow the body to go in and do a lot of the deeper cleaning work that it doesn't get to do because we're constantly digesting. And I'm going to explain how each thing works for our digestive system. So the white rice, we don't want to use brown rice here. Brown rice is harder to digest. So white rice is one of the easiest foods for the body to digest. So anytime that you're trying to give your digestion a break, eating rice is one of the best ways to do that. And then when you're eating a mono diet of Kitchari, this helps the body become accustomed to its composition. So it knows exactly what it's going to have to do to digest it. So it doesn't have to, the body doesn't have to work or think so hard to work through the food that you're eating. And then that way, the digestive tract will work through that stuff very quickly. And then it will have time to like work through more of the toxins and do deeper cleaning between each meal that you're eating. And then the mung beans act like a gentle scrubbing agent to help clear buildup in the digestive tract. So when you're eating the mung beans, they're like a yellow lentil. It's what they look like. And as they're moving through the digestive tract, this is my mung beans moving through the digestive tract. They are kind of scrubbing the internal organs of your digestive tract. So it's getting out a lot of those extra things. And since your body isn't having to work so hard to digest, a lot of this stuff is able to come out easier as well. And then the ghee binds with fat soluble toxins and helps carry them out of the body. So the ghee is very heavy. And if you did a cleanse with me, I would do something called sapana with you as well if you wanted to do that. And that's where you're drinking a lot of ghee each morning. So you start with two tablespoons the first morning, then you go to three, then four, then five, then six, then seven, then eight. And then on the sixth day, that's the last day you eat drink the 8 tablespoons of water. But by doing all this ghee, it's like pushing that extra heavy oils through the body and it will bind to these toxins that are in our fat and actually pull the fat down and out. And so it's very nourishing, but also, so the ghee is like moisturizing the nervous system and moisturizing the whole body and giving us that extra kind of like juice that we need while simultaneously attaching itself to toxins in our fat and like literally pulling the fat out of the body. And then this way, the body can absorb and assimilate the extra nutrients it's receiving at this time. And so, I told you before that you're probably going to be getting more nutrients than you've ever gotten. And you'll also be able to probably assimilate and digest those nutrients better than you've ever been able to as well during this cleansing period. And then, so some of the cleansing benefits are it's rest the digestive system and soothe the gut. So we all have heard about the gut microbiome and how we need to keep it healthy. And this cleanse is one of the ways that you can reset that gut biome without having to like do probiotics or prebiotics. And there's nothing wrong with probiotics and prebiotics. And actually, there is a way to do them properly. So you want to do prebiotics for 2 weeks and then you want to eat probiotic foods for the next 2 weeks. And that would be the best way to reset your gut with prebiotics and probiotics. But you can actually just do that through this cleanse. And then we want to reduce the bloating. It will reduce bloating, heaviness, and indigestion. One of the things I hear people say after I've guided them through a cleanse is how they just feel lighter and their gut like feels empty. And so it's just one of the best feelings when you know you've digested all of your food and there's nothing in there that's backed up. And you feel so much lighter. And this not only helps you feel less bloated, but it will also help in digestion and things like that if you've been struggling. And then it supports regular elimination and will cleanse the colon. So if you do this cleanse, the goal, like during the cleanse, your elimination is not going to necessarily be regular. And it's not, a lot of people actually experience more of a drying or like a constipated feeling than like, they're just going to the bathroom all the time, which is another um, great aspect of this cleanse is that you're not like running to the bathroom just like all the time. It's actually very, very gentle. But when the cleanse is over, then the goal is that you are having regular bowel movements every morning when you wake up. And that's where doing something like this can help you get to that place. And then we want to release toxins and purify the liver, blood, and tissue. And this cleanse, one of the best things about this cleanse is that we go through and we kind of help the liver clean itself out and give the liver a little bit extra love. And the liver is always working really hard for us. And so when we do these cleanses, we give the liver a chance to like repair itself and heal a little bit because it doesn't have to work so hard to get all of these like processed foods and all the things that we're normally eating out of our body. We give it a break to just kind of relax a little bit. And when we do this, this also helps to rejuvenate this first tissue layer of plasma and lymph. And when we have a healthy plasma and lymph, then we're able to get nutrients all the way to the deepest layers of our body. But if our plasma and lymph is all dried up and crusty, then those nutrients aren't going to make it all the way through. And that's why it's so important to have a healthy liver and to make sure that we are keeping hydrated and those sorts of things. And then create space for cellular rejuvenation. And like I said before, we're constantly digesting, and then the liver's constantly having to work through all of the processed foods that we're eating. And so when we give our digestion a break, it gives the other cells a chance to repair and rejuvenate themselves because the body's not just digesting all the time. It can actually go in and do cellular repair. And then it will reduce cravings for sugar, caffeine, alcohol, and processed foods. And what I have noticed is after each cleanse I do, little by little, I crave these things less and less. It's so amazing. And I have done 4 cleanses now. And after each one, I notice I just like refine my eating habits and lifestyle just a little bit more. And I think it's important to know that we're not trying to change overnight. We're not even trying to cleanse everything out of us. That isn't the point. What we're trying to do is slowly, little by little, we're just fine tuning our machine. And so I like to look at it as like you're doing an oil change on your car. You're just doing that yearly maintenance that needs to be done, but we're not trying to like, flush the whole system necessarily. And like even flushing a whole system in cars can like freak it out. And I know, anyway, we won't get into all of it, but like if you're just doing like a really heavy, dramatic cleanse, and I'm not saying there's not a time and a place for that, but it can almost be too much. And this is one of the reasons I love Ayurveda is it takes a very simple, little by little approach, and we want to change slowly. And so little by little, the more that you do this cleanse, the more that you're going to be able to move away from sugar, caffeine, alcohol, and processed foods. And then lastly, this cleanse will help calm the nervous system, improve sleep, and build resilience and immunity. And I have to tell you that once I started doing Ayurveda cleansing, I noticed a huge improvement in my nervous system. And I didn't realize how much my digestion was connected to the nervous system and what a big difference it made for me that once I had fixed my gut, then I was able to, my nervous system didn't feel so active and I was actually able to kind of calm down and be more in my parasympathetic nervous system, which I honestly didn't think that was even possible. And so this is another reason why I am obsessed with Ayurveda and this cleanse is because not only is it going to help your gut and digestion, but this ends up spilling over into like every other aspect of your life. And so I am going to be doing a spring cleanse, and I will leave the link below if you would like to join. It can all be done online and at home, and all the information will be there. And I hope to see you in the next video.